1954 Cedar Rapids telephone directory. It's almost like a classic piece of art if you look at it. Look at the woman there holding the lightning bolts, empowered, willing to communicate to the world. I am telephone lines, hear me roar. And then the classified stuff, the Northwest Bell Regional Telephone Company, part of the Ma Bell system. Uh, this is just it, the Ma Bell symbol there.
I really dig this style of font, like these old styles of font, like from the 50s and 60s.
It's cool, and it's really almost, if you look at how thin it is, it's like a magazine. It's not really a book. It's more so a magazine because there were just less businesses, and this is commercial, but this is still more of a utilitarian value. This talks about the long distance rates. Here's how you get the operator. Dial 110. And just this, to me, the phones that we're looking here, the ways that these are standardized, the ways that you would communicate are just kind of interesting here. And here's just some general phone guidelines back in the day. General telephone information. Telephone motion pictures. Operator, get me the latest movie. And then, wait, they would do that there. Bills for service, how they would figure that out. Really, and
Very
then,
no nonsense, no quarter columns, no half columns.
nope, just like you got a bold listing. These are just the basic directory ones. These are all the white pages, and you can see
It's almost like net neutrality in a way. It's like everything, like nothing, nobody gets any special treat. Well, I guess okay.
nope,
Now,
those are the white listings. So.
okay, never mind. I take back. I take back. I take back
You
everything.
got your hopes up, communist phone man.
Yep. Even back then, there was like everything was unequal. There we go.
Then they have different listings, and here's kind of a map too. I see a map of Marion. So look at that. Oh wow, that's from 1954. Marion civic information. So that could be a whole video just in and of itself, and all the data about Marion. They were originally the county seat.
Indian Creek.
Railroads were a big deal. It looks like they even ran railroads back then.
I can see my house.
Wow. This is the postage information. Talks about fees, all that. Now, look at Cedar Rapids, the bustling metropolis. And that's the 1954 Cedar Rapids map. These are just different adding machines, different business ads. Oh, wow. Is this one... What the...
Is this old Bessie?
Wow, that's really interesting.
Old Bessie's seen better days.
Yeah. So, but it's kind of cool because these are really kind of more art pieces than they are ads.
Yeah, you can see like the ads are more. They're kind of classy. They're classy looking. They're like they brought in real artists and real cartoonists. And there are no like stock photos or anything. Everything's drawn.
You're really kind of getting some value from it. And like you were saying earlier about the equality, everybody's is in black and white, and everybody pretty much has the same shot. It's not like you have full color ads. There's the Hall Bicycle Company. They've been around since 1898 and are still around today. All these, chiropractic, because everybody went to Palmer, and then they didn't want to leave more than 2 hours from Palmer, so that's why we got like 50,000 chiropractors in the metro market. This is kind of cool. It looks like a radio. Our trucks pass your door daily. Cleaners and dry.
It's kind of creepy.
Yeah, and then they got the central office. How do we know that station doesn't go to Moscow? Or some crazy thing. Dry cleaners. I know it's kind of this a little slower than that, but it's just kind of cool to look at these ads. Just kind of take them in and observe it, because not that many people do. Not that many people really appreciate and value this.
Yeah, this thing is a straight up antique.
Oh, look at that one. That's probably not politically correct, but coal.
Oh my. Well, they don't. I mean, they don't. Yeah, it's just a piece of coal.
Oh, and here's the concrete companies, and it's kind of interesting to just look at these because I think they've pretty much stayed the same. Ready Mix Concrete, King Crown Plaster,
Ready Mix had a Springville branch.
Yeah, I've seen an ad for Springville's concrete before. Here's all the different home builders. How many of them are still building, or their families still building? Oh, naked baby. That would be considered child porn now. You never get away with something like that.
No.
You got to airbrush something on them. Hometown. That to me, for whatever reason, I feel like this ties into Hy-Vee in some way. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe I'm totally wrong. But I've seen a lot of these ads, even in the 60s. Be popular. Arthur Murray? What's this about? Join Arthur Murray's.
It's fun to be popular and easy. Oh no! Wait, no. It's fun to be popular and easy too. If you put yourself in the hands of Arthur Murray expert. You see, Arthur Murray has discovered a shortcut to good times that almost anyone can learn in almost no time. So come in now and be all set for your next dancing party.
Oh, okay. I don't know what Arthur Murray's doing. I want his job.
Arthur Murray is having a good time.
Rollaway stores, pharmacy. So these are all state-sanctioned drug dealers. How many of them are still around? How many of them have been consolidated? The different ones. Acme Electric. See, these utility companies are still around, some of them. Uh-oh, what happened with her? This woman should have stayed in the kitchen, kept them scissored away from her hands. This is what happens. It gets out of hand, and we get situations like that. Stop looking for an electrician. Pulsing Electric. And they got a traffic light to symbolize the stop sign. That you've reached your final destination. Look at that tractor. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
These different floral shops. I don't really think any of these floral shops are still around, but they have nice ads. And then funeral homes. This one's actually a very significant funeral home. Was it your grandmother's at this location?
Yep, my paternal grandmother's was at this location, and it's soon to be the history center.
Yep, they're going to get half the space, and they're going to be working on renovating it. And it will be. I like the location. I'm glad they were able to do something with it.
Well, it's a perfect location because it's right there on 2nd Avenue where the Grant Wood house is.
Yeah,
and the art museum.
Well, eventually PCI is going to expand out of it and just take over that role too. It'll just be an escalator and a couple MRI machines. But anyhow,
it's fuck history.
Oh, yep. So anyhow, these are just some more of the ads. This is kind of an interesting one here. Where's this at? This is Mount Vernon Road. East of Forest again. They really love their forest. Then your grocer.
This was back when. I'm sorry I cheated on you, honey.
I have a florist here. You got to keep up making appearances.
But I know how you women love your flowers.
Medical Arts Surgical Supply Company. If you become a cripple, this is for you. And they have the ad. At least they don't say anything about being a cripple. All these different insurance guys. What's this one? The cop?
Be on the safe side. Insurance of every kind.
Huh. Oh, I like this one. Scrap. Well, this is maybe where the Coen brothers got started.
Yeah. See, back in the day, if you were an artist, this was like, if you were a working artist making money, this was probably your job, was like creating art for phone book ads.
I know the Hatch family at Fairmount, and they have a building down the street, and it's kind of cool to see their ad. But yep, continue, sorry.
No, I was just saying, like, how, you can tell that a lot of artists were employed, drawing these ads.
This ain't clip art bullshit. This is a real deal.
This took some skill.
That's a cool mower.
Yeah.
Lang's Repair Service. Because when a real mower won't do, push this piece of shit. And then push it, pay to do that. Yeah. Horseman.
Where can I get a prompt loan?
So this tells me that predatory lending and extortion of the poor and the vulnerable took place even 60 years ago.
Yep.
You too can get a loan shark loan from the Loan Shark Loan Company. We'll make them an offer they couldn't refuse. They'll bust some kneecaps if they have to. Money in a day.
And this was back, I believe this was back when debtors' prisons still existed.
Yeah. Well, the death penalty in Iowa still existed until 1964.
Like, you could go to jail for being in debt. Back in the day, that was abolished, but back I think in the 50s, that still was a thing.
See, that would really help people manage their finances better. Now we just let them go bankrupt and give them a slap on the wrist. But you go to prison, what you in for, man? You're like, I didn't pay for my sofa. I'm straight up gangster.
Yeah.
But anyhow.
Because you remember how, that was what's his name? Jimmy Stewart, and It's a Wonderful Life. It was what he was so afraid of, was that he was going to go to jail.
And he was in a savings and loans company.
He was going to jump off a damn bridge.
Yeah.
They didn't mess around back then. It was like, oh, doggone it, I wish I'd never been born.
Ogden and Adams. This is still around, and it's right behind the Irish Democrat. What's interesting is you look at the phone number. There's an initial number, 8197. And really now, it's the 10-digit dialing, where these would all start with 319. That came out originally in 1947, but really the next phone book that I'm going to show you, the 1967 one, about 20 years after the initial plan came out, was really when I saw it implemented in phone books from the years that I've monitored. And it led to the standardization of a lot of things, because you don't see a zip code in any of these ads either. So they're all just like, oh, where Ogden is, and all these places. I think these guys still do memorials. King's Concrete. Are these hotels?
Yep.
Shady Acres. Who wants to stay at Shady Acres? Where you check in, but you don't check out.
Yep. Ooh, Bates Motel.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh, I like this ad. This is really cool. Nursing home professional services. Panel with music instruction. They had people instructed in music back then, too. Service stations. But it's kind of cool because each ad's kind of like its own piece of art. Each ad's a unique thing. Pest control. Modern pest control. It's a lot better than medieval pest control. Burn it all and let God sort it out. Which that just didn't end so well.
Ooh, Kodak.
Photo supplies. Is this in German? Or am I just reading it upside down?
Del Blumenschein.
It's like ridiculously German.
It sounds kind of... it's kind of almost like...
Der Blumenschein Fotos.
Like pseudo-German and French, kind of. Or
like
Spanish.
The gayest one. Yeah, Del Foto. Look at how big their ad is. Any photo you get here. Tom Broca and Sons. This actually was a big deal. I think it ties in the Broca vending and a lot of other businesses later on down the line. If you ever look at Polk City directories from like the 60s all the way up until the 90s, the binding on the binder of these, it says Broca and Son, and then eventually it just goes to Broca Mechanical Contracting. And Baldwin Panel Company. It's a date. It's a date if you'd like, and what's it say?
If you'd like to visit the Telephone Central office and watch how your calls are landed, our folks in the office would be glad to arrange it. Ooh, it'd be like a fun field trip where you get to meet like a real life operator.
Yeah. Now it'd just be an automated process. Oh, hey, a toilet. If you feel like your wife's going down, at least it's not a counselor.
I'm kind of amazed that actually made it through because, this is 1954. This was back in the day when you couldn't even show a toilet on TV. Like not Doogie Howser. What am I? Leave It to Beaver.
Okay.
Leave It to Beaver. Like they were the first ones to show a toilet being flushed on TV. Like, and they couldn't show the bowl itself. They could only show the top part because people didn't want to believe that. People didn't want to.
You don't shit on television. You're a magical superhero.
People didn't want to accept the fact that people poop. Everybody poops, but
Not on TV.
Not on TV.
The Hedges Company. This was one of the oldest realty companies. 1887. They're now part of Coldwell Banker and have a couple branches. But it's just interesting to look at them, see what they're offering, what they're doing. Look at all these realty companies, because this is all pretty much realtors. Now it's pretty much Scoldman, Iowa Realty, and Hedges. But they're all listed here. Specializing in seafood. Ellis Boulevard. I think that's still around, but it's something different. The building still stands, though, even after the flood. Kenwood Transfer and Storage, which was part of the independent Kenwood Park area, it looks like. But it had already been incorporated there. All these service stations. It's going to be A-OK with that guy, Shell. A lot of service stations. He had a 24-hour wrecker service. It's kind of cool to see, because that's really one of the few 24-hour ads where it really shows, I would say in the 80s, that the economy shifted more to a global and 24-hour community with computerization and also with call centers, cell phones, other avenues that pretty much expected people to be ready 24/7.
Yeah, back in the day, like after 6 p.m., like everything was like pretty much everybody was at home having dinner. Like you couldn't expect anything to be open really.
West Side Sewing Machine. It's still around. And what's interesting is they went to the east side, baby. East side on First Ave, northeast side. So they're not even really the west side anymore. They dumped their west side roots. They moved on up. But it's just an interesting ad. Napster Sign Company. They're still around.
Oh, Nesper, yeah.
Yeah,
and the guy, that guy, I don't. It's probably this guy's grandson, whoever was running it. Then he's a local comedian now. I forget his name. Tom Garland is his name.
Oh,
yep, he's a local. I've seen him perform a couple of times.
Salvation Army. Yeah.
Salvation Army, same logo. Exact same logo.
They don't like spending money. They already have a brand recognition thing, so why one more money? Oh, hey, look at these different cabs. Telephone answering. It rings, you're out. We answer. Answer phone.
Oh, wow. That was before answering machines. That was like when there was an actual answering service. That's actually really interesting. That was wow, I didn't even know such a thing existed.
Yeah, and this was 1954 and they were rolling this stuff out. So that's kind of cool.
Ace Electronics. Eastern Iowa TV service. That was probably one of the first. I mean, this is 54. I mean,
yep, the golden age of television.
TV was like brand new.
Oh, look at that. Arts Radio Doc. Sales television service. So this is kind of a new market, so a lot of people could really kind of get into it.
Yeah, this was back when probably only about 50% of homes had a TV, maybe even less.
Hey, trailer sales.
To haul anything. Oh, there's a photo there.
What's this? What do they even do?
Messinger's. We move and erect stone stacks, boilers, power plants, industrial equipment, and machinery.
Oh, typewriters.
Typewriters and adding machines.
Wow, so you can write legibly even when you can't.
Yeah, that was back before even calculators. Like,
yep.
Before even pocket calculators. You had to have a big, like, adding machine to do accounting and stuff. Upholstery. These are some interesting ads here. This is actually really worth going through. Venetian blind service. Dexter Twinomatic.
What the hell is it? An iron lung?
Parts and service for all washers.
Yeah,
it's like a washer.
It's like a torture device.
Like something you put a
kid.
Culligan soft water.
Hey, Culligan man.
Yeah, there's the Culligan man right there. It's a recognizable welding. Nice. GE. Once again, very same logo. They kept that same logo for over 60 years.
I like that pump, whatever that is. It's just a cool truck. Well and pump contractors.
listen for the hum on your telephone.
And I think that's about it. The big little thing, your phone. It's almost like the phone becomes God with that image. It descends upon people and it connects people. Kind of an interesting image because that's almost what it symbolizes and shows. Good neighbor bandwagon.
And then here's where you can write down all your frequently called numbers and good stuff.
There we go. 1954 phone book.